Southern Strike is an exercise that started quite a few years back, and it's kind of morphed into a joint special operations exercise.
Go.
What we try to do here is replicate real-world activities that we perform on the conventional as well as the special operation level. We encompass all components of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines to include conventional, reserve, as well as National Guard units.
Southern Strike 18 is different than past years because we have scoped the exercise down in size and focused it more to align with the battlefield airmen and the Air National Guard's training deficiencies for combat readiness.
That's fine. Ground commander's initials, Juliet Romeo Sierra.
And have worked towards making sure that we can accomplish as many tasks as possible with those guys to make them combat mission ready.
Move it.
We actually bring in partner nation forces from around the world that align with the teams that we bring in on the U.S. soft side. And with those teams, they actually integrate in as a part of the exercise, and they do missions and training events alongside of all of our Army and Marine brethren and Air Force brethren. The South Mississippi Defense Corridor has been working for the last few years to establish its capability to support a multitude of operations. South Mississippi is a great place to come train because we've got everything from coastal waterways, maritime operations, to the riverine operations, as well as land warfare operations. So we can hit the full spectrum of training that would be required for any kind of unit to deploy downrange and be combat mission ready.
Many of the training events you'll see at Southern Strike include the full spectrum of DoD operations. Those include direct action, including counterinsurgency, air medical evacuation, en route care, air supremacy, as well as air-to-ground integration.
We do full mission profiles that incorporate all the air players and ground players from the joint force to have a common goal and work towards a total force integration at the end of the exercise that truly prepares them for combat operations when deployed.
Whenever we have the full mission profile set up, we work with their observer controller, with the unit, to actually give us injects that they want to see to meet their medal task, but also lead up to our culmination event at the end of the exercise.
What this does is it provides realism to the ground force commander as well as the aviation assets that are providing support to the ground task force commanders.
So the interoperability training that we're currently doing here at Southern Strike between Army, Air Force, we also have Marine Corps and Navy guys out here, allows us to be more lethal when we go downrange, but it also gives us good training here at Camp Shelby for doing our stateside mission as well for the members of the Guard. Allows us to meet contacts and gives us vital training.
Camp Shelby has one of the largest ranges in the United States, and due to that ability with their mount sites, which are modern urban training areas, that work out great for all the ground forces to get realistic training that would look and resemble like the places that they could further deploy.
It's a huge ordeal for us to be able to do something like this, because the simple fact is that when we go do this in the real world, we rely on our training to get us through it. Because once you get stressed out or you become in a hostile environment, the main thing you remember is your training.
CRTC is one of the best places in the world to come train like that, because this place was built for units to deploy and it look and feel like a combat operational base, a forward operating base, and they can deploy, operate aircraft, work out of a secure JOC, and actually do operations like they would when they're in combat.
What Southern Strike is doing, in my opinion, is emulating what's going on downrange. We've been doing this for a long time. This is not something that's new to us. So we're allowing them a training package that emulates what they're doing overseas, and an environment and relationships that feel very similar to what they're used to experiencing there.
We're from 17 different flights across the Air National Guard, and it's rare that we all have an opportunity to work together as team members. And it's likely that we will overseas in the deployed environment. So this exercise really allows us to team build and work on our integrating our skills.
So it gives us that opportunity to join with people from all over the United States and all over the world in this joint operation. Not only do we reach out and make relationships that can last for years and years, but it gives us a different dimension. What are other states doing? What assets do we need? What training are their personnel receiving that we may not, that we might be able to share? And what training do we have that we can share with the rest of the nation? I think it shows Mississippi is continuing to help lead in military training.
The importance for the Mississippi National Guard as well as the Department of Defense is to replicate the real-world activities that are occurring. A critical component of that is working with our international partners as well as joint operations. If we can replicate that here to a degree to where we're ready to fight, we can go forward and perform our mission anywhere in the world.